pathway to the divine fulfillment requires more than what you currently know. This session is about how to establish a full connection with the divine source, and we are going to explore what it means to connect with the divine presence, why prayer alone may not be enough for full spiritual fulfillment, the essential components that create an unbroken link to the source, daily practices to strengthen your divine connection, and creating a life that reflects your spiritual connection. And this journey is expected to take us in about 20 minutes beyond our conventional spiritual practices to discover the complete pathway to divine connection. The nature of source of what we call God, connect fully, we are referring to the ultimate creative intelligence, the source of everything, from which all existence flows. This divine presence transcends all religious boundaries and cultural circumstances. Wherever you are, whatever you are, there is that source where everything begins. Power, pre-existing infinite intelligence that knows everything, knows an insect from where it is formed, a plant, all types of trees, all lakes, rivers, mountains, people, animals. There is that source of everything. So a full connection with the source means establishing a direct, continuous, and conscious relationship with that divine intelligence. It is not just about occasional prayer or Sunday worship, as many of us do. It's about creating an unbroken channel of communion and energy exchange. Remember, we said masters, which is our goal, that we should become all ultimate masters. We should master this game of life, the game of the Almighty who is showing itself through the different things. We have to keep connected, and that's why we're talking about connection. As we are told in so many scriptures, the kingdom of God is within you. And this ancient wisdom reminds us that the divine connection we seek is not distant, but accessible with our own consciousness. But we have to tune in. It's not just brought to the fore by default. We have to tune in, and there is a hierarchy of this spiritual connection. So at the highest level, we talk about complete spiritual integration. That they tell us that the Lord our God said that the God is spirit, therefore we must be worshipped in spirit. So if you are worshipping by this worldly showing only, and you're not going within the invisible and talking to Him within the invisible, then there is a gaps that you need to accomplish to reach that higher connection and achieve much more. Even if you're already getting a lot, you could be getting more if you really reached full connection. At the second level, there is faith, which is unwavering trust in divine wisdom. You know that the Almighty is always working out things for your good in whatever situation it is. That whatever has happened, the divine being that created heaven and earth and everything therein contained knows why whatever is happening the way it is happening. That's what faith is about. That we always trust that it's all turning out good in the end. And then, of course, belief, which is intellectual acceptance of higher power. You know that it is like this, and you take it to be like that. Then prayer, which is communion with the divine, your attempt to talk to or communicate with the divine. So we understand from this hierarchy that while prayer creates an individual connection, an initial individual connection, belief strengthens it and faith deepens it. But achieving full connection requires additional elements that transform your entire being into a vessel of divine connection. You have to give yourself in to know that that which is greater than you has true in your life. Give in. You have been given free will, but if you want to act at that higher level, the all-knowing level, you have to give in to that which is unseen and let it lead you. But of course, remember at every level they are both good spirits and the not so good ones, and you have got to know what you're opening out yourself to. That's why your spiritual practice is very, very important. And this progression isn't about abandoning earlier stages. It doesn't mean that to connect fully you don't pray, but upon building on them to create a comprehensive spiritual experience. So you do all of them, but you are aiming to connect, to achieve real connection. So why is prayer alone not enough? Many people ask when we do teach these things. Prayer creates a momentary bridge to the divine. Many of you, for example, have times when you do prayer, but you know that, especially in the Bible, they tell us that the Lord pray unceasingly. Prayer is a petition. The forces of the world are in everything, and some, when they know their power, they tend to use it wrongly. Because we are all connected at that source, if you continue petitioning, the power should change back in your favor. And that's why you need to be sort of petitioning all the time. So the traditional prayer is usually limited duration and is usually one-way communication and lacks that integration nature of two-way communication, being able to hear from the divine as you speak. And to establish this full connection, we must expand beyond traditional prayer into a comprehensive spiritual practice that aims to connect to the divine, to hear what the Father is saying, to get replies. Some of us have lived in church for many years and we have never even had a conversation with the divine, with the, to ask and we get answered, to have a real chat with your Father, with the higher beings, with the angels. Yet this is available for everybody. So some of these are the missing elements: receptive listening, developing the capacity to hear the divine within, then living spiritual principles through physical action. What we do, does it embody, does it contain someone who is really connected and trusts that the Father is in charge, or you are living as a worried character, not sure of how tomorrow will be. Then community connection, sharing spiritual energy with others. Remember, you're not here alone, and nobody is here alone. Like we said, we are all here to serve and be served. If you cannot be useful to others in this interconnection of the Father, then you are missing something in terms of being very, very useful for what you intended to be. And then, of course, self-knowledge, which is the highest knowledge, understanding your unique spiritual blueprint. That me, this is how I feel better to go forward. This is how I prefer things to be done. Not everyone is going to be born with the same pattern. So identifying your own individual, character and how you'd want to express this connection with the divine is extremely important. But above all, you should be consistent in your practice, whichever way you choose. Doing daily rituals that maintain divine connection, the unseen. And these elements should transform occasional spiritual moments into that continuous divine connection, where like you're always referring to the Father within, someone, the power that is in charge of everything, and it's us to go there. So we are saying the full spectrum of this divine connection involves prayer, which is speaking to the divine through words, thoughts, and emotions. It involves meditation, which involves quieting the mind to hear divine guidance. It involves service, expressing divine love through actions that benefit others. It involves study, understanding spiritual principles through reading sacred teachings and sacred texts, your spiritual books, what you call holy books like Bible, Bhagavad Gita, the Pikata, the Torah. Community, strengthened connection through shared experience with others, shared spiritual experience, and of course, nature connection, experience the divine through creation. You need to go to other creations. That's why you see people want to go to mountains, to forests, to rivers, to lakes, to rocks. There is power in those things that is natural that you can connect with to enable you to be elevated towards higher spiritual connections. And the full connection with source integrates all these elements into a cohesive practice. Not that you should do all of them, but you can select those that work best for you. But ideally, this whole session is aimed at encouraging you to move from the traditional monologue of you going to ask the supermarket prayer, so to speak. God give me this, God grant me this, God let this happen, God let this, to achieve true connection that requires you develop receptive channels, which means that you need to be tuned. You remember we said we are a portal. We connect to God through a portal. And in that portal, you must be able to tap, you must be a channel, a good receiver of God if God does speak to you. And the Almighty is ever speaking to us because the spark, a part of Him resides within you. And we need to grow our intuitive impressions. Monitor if the kind of things that come to you and make meaning of them in relation to your prayers or that which you seek to accomplish. Look for synchronicities and serendipities in your events. Are there things that are repeating that look like coincidences? Make sure you don't miss your dreams and visions, because this is how the Almighty connects. Then inner knowing. All of us have things that we know, but it is like this, and all of us have witnessed that where things happen and you say, I knew this would be like this. The challenge is to master it so that it can even prevent you from the troubles of the world or make you not miss an opportunity. Master that inner knowing, of course, then inspired thoughts, to think thoughts that rise from knowing, from spirit, the knowledge of your connection with the divine. And when you learn to both speak and listen, your spiritual life transforms from occasional moments of connection to an ongoing divine dialogue. You are able to keep connecting and talking to the Father. And this is what we all need. And to keep seeking, it's why we are seekers. We said we are ultimate mastery seekers. We are seeking that ever-existing divine connection. And we keep our instrument, which is our body and mind, we keep fine-tuning it to make sure we're able to listen into the full source intelligence, the Great Spirit. And this full connection with source isn't just a mental, emotional state. It must be embodied through action. Like Jesus even told those who believe who believe in Jesus, that they will see you through your actions. They will see, it should be seen through what you are doing. So we expect that we shall see in you emotional experience of divine presence. People should see the peace of the Lord, the joy of the Lord, the love of the Lord in you. People should be able to see mental understanding of spiritual principles. You must be able to understand, if you're talking about love, peace, joy, as goals to achieve, or other spiritual principles. You must be able to explain them, because whether you read them from those for whom they were shown earlier in these separate texts, or whether you commune in, you can get these insights that will help you to explain. It's why some of us are also able to explain some of these, even when we have not done formal study in these spiritual matters. So acting connected, you have to be expressing the divine connection through tangible actions in everyday things that you are doing. Starting from your home, the way you treat your parents, your spouse and children, your neighbors, your workmates if you work, your community members. You should be able to exhibit that you're connected to a higher source, and of course embodying divine presence in every moment. Remember, it shows in its results. Peace, joy, and of course the presence of love. We should be able to see that in you. So when your spiritual understanding manifests in how you live, work, and relate to others, you achieve integration with the divine, and then that kind of goes on increasing, and you're able to get more and more insights. And to fully understand this, also to understand the concept of spiritual community, why it's important. I know right now there is a big talk about against religion and the spiritual groupings, because God communicates to us individually and through secret. It is certainly important for us to engage in that individual connection as the primary way to honor and to connect. But remember, we're here to express, like we said in our previous session, we're here to express the Father. And you cannot express the Father by going in. You go in, understand, then bring out, share with the rest of the world. So in this, we have got to engage with the community. So because collective energy, we are told that group spiritual practice creates a magnified field of divine connection. Even scientists have proven that when people send good thoughts to somebody, the more they are, the more the energy capacity, sometimes measured in watts, is able to be received. And of course, it promotes accountability. It helps us to maintain consistent spiritual practice. Many of us, due to the cares of this world and the challenges, if we don't know that other people, we are supposed to do this at this time, we usually lose track. If you can maintain it alone, well and good, but many of us need that clear accountability to be able to maintain good spiritual connection. Of course, others also help us to see blind spots in our own understanding. It took me long, personally, also to understand this principle. But of course, as we shall discuss in other sessions, the highest spiritual seeing is actually in smelling. Spiritual eyes are more in feeling, but feeling of smell, because you're able to see much far. And this faculty, to grow it, you realize that many of us might think we are very perfect in our life. But it isn't so, and that's why God has all these eyes and all these other elements to bring out the best in the Father, in the Great Spirit, in the Source. So Other people can help show you areas where you need to improve, including those that annoy you, those that you think treat you bad. They're showing you areas that are still empty, that need to be corrected, need to be realigned. Otherwise, nobody should be able to annoy you or, put you in a state of disarray because, you're connected to the Father. Every time, these are your friends that have been put in your path to come and help you, because nobody hears their smell. You're saying, they tell us that if, for example, at a physical level, if your mouth is smelling, many of us are not able to see it. It's only when another person feels it that you are able to tell you that your mouth needs some cleansing or freshening, that you are able to make. So this community sometimes helps to see these blind spots in our understanding or overstanding or understanding and guide us to be correct, to connect properly. And of course, shared wisdom by benefiting from other spiritual insights and experiences. Remember, we are all here expressing the divine. So nobody has all that it takes. In everybody is that absolute power that is here to express. So there may be insights that are in others that are not in you. So, like they tell us in the Bible, actually, that where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. And remember, in my name means the way or character, not necessarily the name. I know many of my colleague Christians want to say name of Jesus. It means in the way of Jesus. Anoma. Anoma Jesus. Anoma. In the way or the name of, shall we think even have a session on this specifically? Because until we mature this level, based on this ancient knowledge, and know what it is exactly, then we shall not rise. We shall continue seeing as if Jesus is very far, the Almighty Father is very far, or that which you're using as a source of Jesus. But yet we are saying we are all one. We are all connected in this divine journey. And discovering your unique spiritual blueprint is extremely important. Some of you will choose the devotional path. You connect through love, worship, and devotion to the divine. Some of you, you will choose wisdom, connect through study, concentration, and understanding. Some of you will be service, through service, connection through selfless action and helping others. Some of you through meditation, connection through inner stillness and awareness. And it's extremely important that you honor your spiritual blueprint, which allows you to develop practices that align with your natural strength while working to balance areas that need improvement. You should not be compelled to do everything like others. You can select one strong one or another and commune, because we have all been given signatures even within the things that we can tolerate or enjoy within our being. And those are great signals to know what brings up your spirit. We should all be feeling like we're enjoying this life. We should all be feeling comfortable in whatever it is that we are doing. If you are not, then it means there is something, another way through which you can express and do this divine connection very well. Because the Almighty Father is within you. So in terms of daily practice, for divine connection, we are saying every morning, begin with 15 to 30 minutes of prayer, meditation, or sacred reading before engaging the outside world. It's extremely important. Please commit some time, either meditate or pray or talk to the divine. Then mindful transitions, take 1 to 2 minutes between activities as you're doing things to center yourself and reconnect yourself with the divine. We tell people you can spend a minute saying, for example, breathing aware. You can breathe aware by breathing as you feel the air hitting your nostrils and honoring God. We all grow up breathing, but we never think about breath. It is our primordial important connection. It is what brings in life in us. Without it, we are no longer alive. But we do not honor it. So taking 2 to 3 times a day to just honor that I'm breathing. Thank you, Father, that I'm able to breathe. And then you feel that life is coming in and getting out to influence others. Coming in and getting out to influence others. It's extremely important. You can also just affirm that I am here. I am here. You are telling the world that you acknowledge yourself and you are connected with the divine, that I am is here with you. You are here, but also I am, who is the real God, is also here with you. Then you can also do sacred pauses. Set your mind at the end of the day. Pause, breathe, and affirm your connection with the divine. It's related to mind mindful transitions. Then, of course, evening reflection. End each day with gratitude practice and reviewing divine guidance received. You can review a day at the end before you go to bed. Think of those moments where the Almighty power manifested in your life. See how your day went, the kind of help you got, and how it came and how it made you feel. And consistency is more important in these things than duration. 5 minutes daily practice creates more connection than occasional hour-long sessions. It is, remember, we are saying the forces are many, and once the Almighty releases these forces, this power, it hardly intervenes without your, you are asking. So all power, we all get this power from the Almighty, but we are always implementing it on our own, and some people do not implement it in the best way possible. So in this, of course, we need to be guided by sacred texts and teachings, and we say that read with the heart as well as the mind. Try to understand what it means, because the heart contains all the answers. You have to feel it. You have to feel what you are reading for it to make much enough sense. Find how the teaching applies to your life. Meditate on the passages rather than just reading, and of course, we encourage exploring them from various traditions. Ladies and gentlemen, what I can tell you most humbly is, before you read, like from 5 other religions, you do not know much about the Father. There is no one religion that has it all. There are many people who think their religion is right. There is no right or wrong religion. The Almighty, the Great Spirit, the Supreme Intelligence, God is God beyond religions. And until you read it, you keep thinking, it's only this way, it's only the other way, yet it's not true. And there is a lot shared actually within this. That's why for us in Ultimate Mastery, we know that we can explore and get all insights from this, but it's important to go within with that knowledge and continue reflecting and get eternal wisdom and this ongoing divine connection. So when sacred texts become a living dialogue rather than rigid doctrine, they serve as a bridge to deeper connection. One of the things we tell people is, look at all these texts as if they are present-day things, talking about your own life, rather than stories of past people and events. Of course, in this world that we live in, a busy world, with work, study, daily hours, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of doubt. Many of us, you can pray 20 years and something doesn't arrive. But remember the story of Sarah and Abraham, doubt, suffering. You have to continue waiting on the Lord. And these challenges come to everybody, because you cannot prove. It's why we even do exams in your life. Anyone who is seeking to know the Father will be tested whether they are really connected and whether they know what they are connected to. By consciously working through these challenges rather than avoiding them, your spiritual connection becomes more resilient and authentic, because you have maintained that direct connection even when there is wind blowing different sides. And to really do this well, it's recommended that you create a separate space from where you do your activities. There has been this talk of people being encouraged to have altars within your homes, within your spaces. It's important to have a space, whether it's a corner in your house, where you can create a space where you commune. And this space needs to have minimal distractions. You can have there meaningful symbols and objects for your own way, the way you express. The natural elements, plants, water, light, very important. Then, of course, you should have comfortable sitting for meditation or prayer, where you want it to happen. And then, of course, if you can make it beautiful, it will help elevate the spirit. There is something about beauty. When you see a flower, when you see anything good, even a good looking, there is something that rises within you, because you came here to behold and enjoy the beauty of the world. So if you can make this place beautiful, it will certainly help reinvigorate that connection and the need to connect and maintain a good connection. So even, we are saying even a small corner in a room, when intentionally prepared, can become a powerful portal for divine connection. And we need all to commit this kind of altar, where we alter ourselves. The altar is meant to alter your physical being into higher being, until you for the spirit to intervene directly. And it's good Okay, and as we conclude, we're saying that there are cycles and seasons of growth um, within this connection. Divine connection isn't static, but ebbs and flows with natural cycles. Understanding these rhythms helps connect, maintain this connection through changing circumstances. Uh, some of us will be at the level of awakening, periods of spiritual discovery and renewal. Some of us focus on abundance, times of rich spiritual experience and insight. Some of us are looking at progression, seasons of incorporating spiritual wisdom into daily life. Some of us are looking at periods of spiritual rest and hidden growth, where you're dormant just benefiting from that zero level of things. And we need to honor each season rather than judging yourself when connection feels different from day to day or year to year. It will not be the same at any time. There are seasons, and cycles is one of the laws in this universe. What are the signs that you can look out for full connection? How do you know when you are establishing a full connection with source? Look out for synchronicities and serendipities, meaningful coincidences and divine timing. If they become commonplace in your life, you know that you are connected. Inner peace, a sense of centeredness that remains stable despite external circumstances, especially challenges. If you can maintain and knowing that things are okay, know that you are connected well. Intuitive guidance, clear inner knowledge about decisions and life direction. You are clear about what you are doing and where you are going. You know you have a higher connection. And then heightened compassion, experiencing others' suffering and joy as if it is your own, is another way to know that you are highly connected. And then effortless alignment, when your life flows with less struggle and resistance, you take everything as it comes, knowing that there is a powerful force behind that is ruling and managing everything, and of course purposeful living, when you have a clear sense of meaning and contribution that you're making in this world. Okay, so from living connection, there are of course practical steps that we can take to do this connection very well with the divine. One is to think the divine in others, and it transforms the way you interact, increases compassion, forgiveness, and authentic communication. See the divine in everything, plants, animals, insects, and see whatever role it is they can play in your life. Work, your career becomes a channel of divine expression, bringing purpose to every, even mundane tasks. When I started teaching at the University of Makerere, many people used to ask, why do you put in all that effort? Because some of us are not doing the usual traditional work. I know I'm serving God, I'm serving Jesus, I'm serving all the people that have God's power, and God has given me the opportunity to be the one now leading them. So it is, you can make work. If those of you have worked with me, you know that I take my work not just seriously, but in a special way, because I know this is the opportunity I've been given. Not many people are able to work. In health, you connect with source. When you're connected, it supports your overall well-being through reduced stress, intuitive self-care, and alignment with natural healing. One of the things some of us thank the Lord for is the ability to be able to heal anything we call disease. This is possible for everybody. You know that once I'm connected to the source and I have this direct connection, then I should be able to live whole, because I get the wholeness from the divine connection. And I will be doing several sessions to help those who are interested learn how to heal themselves and even heal others, because it's part of the divine task that we have to do here, because the troubles will come whether I want it or not. And of course, creativity. Remember, we are co-creators. So when you have divine connection, it opens channels of inspiration and innovation beyond ordinary thinking. Okay, so in terms of our next steps, we establish this lasting full connection with the source, with the divine. You can honestly evaluate the strength and consistency of the divine connection within your different areas of your life. In your marriage, in your work life, in relation with your children. Do you see God in them? Do you see your neighbors? Are you really connected, or do you think you are all separate? Then connecting commit for at least 15 minutes of internal connection time each day, connect to the divine, then experiment with different spiritual practices, discover what resonates more deeply. Like we said, not everything might work for you. Then connect with others to share your desire for deeper spiritual connection. Find those people that you can work with, even if it's online, across country. Now we have this technology, it's partly why it's here. Help us connect beyond borders that we have created by ourselves. And as I told you, technology is one of the ways that has come to show us that we are one. It is removing all the barriers that evolution used to experience. And of course, integrating it into your daily life by looking for opportunities to bring awareness of divine connection into ordinary moments. Remember that this full connection is a journey, not a destination, and each step brings you closer to fulfilling the spiritual life that you seek. Okay, so as we conclude, remember that prayer is good, belief is great, faith is supreme, but there is more you need to know in order to have a fulfilling life, which is our whole purpose, to master the divine, to master life, because life is about the divine expressing himself. Remember, it's life, love in full expression. So you understand now that establishing the full connection with the divine requires integrating multiple elements into your spiritual practice. And this makes things have to move beyond prayer to two-way divine dialogue, embodying spiritual principles through action, engaging with supportive community, honoring the unique spiritual blueprint, and creating consistent daily practices. And it's my sincere hope that this comprehensive approach creates a lasting, fulfilling connection with the divine that your heart has always sought, and that can help you to live a good life and a life that gives fruits, the fruits that the Almighty has put within you for the rest of the life. So thank you.